Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to review our math from yesterday, and then we're going to learn some new concepts, okay? So, our math from yesterday asked us to, our directions said read each part carefully and answer to the best of your ability. So part 1, number sense, reading and writing whole numbers. So it asked us for the first one to write the number 7,549 in expanded form. Now from our lesson, I remember that I told you when we're doing expanded form, your best helper is to write your place value chart. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And remember, when we do place value, we always start from the smallest number and work our way up. So our first one is ones. Then we have our tens place. Then we have our hundreds place. Okay, let's see. And I'm actually going to do that. Lots of clicking here. And then we're gonna do our thousands place. And I'm actually gonna stop there because my number only goes up to 7,000, right? There's no 10,000 here. So I'm gonna stop there. Perfect. So now my number is 7,549. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put everything in its correct spot. So the 9 is going to go in the ones, 4 in the tens, 5 in the hundreds, and 7 in the thousands. So there's my number. So now when I expand it, I have 9 ones, which is equal to 9. I have 4 tens, so 4 of 10, all right? So 10 times 4 basically, which I know is equal to 40. I just add a 0 at the end. Remember, so this is nothing, 1, 10, 100, 1,000. You see how I'm doing this? And look, it starts with no 0, then I have 1 0, 2 zeros, 3 zeros, and then you keep going. This is going to help me write my numbers. So if I have 500s, I'm going to have 2 zeros here. I'm going to have 500. If I have 7,000, I'm going to have 3 zeros after my 7. I'm going to have 7,000. And then for expanded form, you simply just add a plus sign in between all of your numbers. So your answer here should have been 7,000. This is hard to write on my mouse, but I'm doing it. Plus 500. Plus 40, whoa, that looks like a T, plus 9. Let me fix that really quick. And that is the correct answer for A. Okay, you see how I solved it? Please correct your work now if you have it wrong while I get ready to move on to the next part. I'm going to keep my place value chart there. Now, number two. Write the number 8,203 in words. Well, I'm going to use my place value chart once again to help me. Okay, if I don't know how to spell, or if I don't know how to do it, right, I'm going to use my help here. So I would write, and I'm going to type just because it'll get a lot quicker, 8,000. So remember, when you're writing, you could go from left to right if you wanted. And I'm going to say it out loud to myself. 200, ooh, that's not a word. Miss G, not being a good third grade student. 200, I have no tens, right? So I'm not going to put 0 tens. Have we ever said a number like that? Have you ever said 8,200, 0 tens, and 3? No, you just don't say anything. 8,203, right? That is how I would write that. Just say it out loud to yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Easy peasy stuff. I know you can do. Okay. Next, write the number shown by the model below. So we're looking at some bricks here. So I'm going to start from my ones and I'm going to count. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 ones. And that's what this is, right? 1, 2 tens. 100s. And 2 big boys, or big chunguses like we like to say, right? And 2 big chunguses. So my number then is 2,125. And remember, you have 1, 2, 3 digits, and then you add the little comma in between. Okay? And that's it. You're basically just looking at your model, right? Next, represent the number 3,620 in standard form. Standard form. Now, I don't know if I made that clear yesterday in my lesson, and if I didn't, I'm sorry. Standard form basically means in regular form. Standard. That's the standard, right? That's the regular. So let's write this number. So we're going to start, we can start from our thousands. Remember, so when we're doing words into numbers or numbers into words, or opposite, we always start actually with the biggest one. So here we go, 3,000, and we can use our place value chart, 600, and 20. Do I have any ones? No, it doesn't say 21, 22. I have 20. That's 2 tens. So 3,620. And remember, 1, 2, 3 digits. And there goes my comma. Please correct any mistakes you might have. Now, and I'm hoping that this is not too difficult for you guys. I'm hoping that it's making some sense. If not, oh no. If not, we'll do some IXL practice. Miss G's gonna get some skills going. I know you guys love IXL. All right, let's look at our next one. Let's look at our next page. This one, Miss G was generous enough to put our little rhyme there. Now, our rhyme is not going to be on iLearn, so try to memorize it, okay? So let's take a look. Find your place, look next door, 5 or greater, then we add one more. Numbers in the front will stay the same, and there's numbers behind, then zeros their name. So let's take a look at that, right? We have our number 784, 784, and we want to round to the nearest 10. So we're going to find our place. We're going to look next door. Is this number 5 or greater? Nope. So we do not add one more. If it was, we would. So the numbers in the front stay the same. Numbers behind, 0 is their name. A was my correct answer. A was my correct answer. Let's do B. Round 3,432. So 3,432. Here we go. To the nearest 100. So I'm going to find my place. I'm going to look next door. Is this 5 or greater? Nope. Then I do not need to add one more. The numbers in the front are going to stay the same, but the numbers behind, 0 is their name. 3,400 is the correct answer. And letter C, 528 to the nearest 100. Here we go. We're looking at our hundreds place. So I'm going to find my place, look next door. Is this 5 or greater? Nope. Then I don't need to add one more. Numbers in the front stay the same. There is nothing in the front of it. Numbers behind, 0 is their name. Whoa, I just realized I made all the answers A. A for awesome. A for awesome. Please correct your mistakes if you did not do so already. And that was not intentional. I did not do that purposely. Intentional means kind of like the same thing as purposely. I did not do that purposely. Okay, and next we're going to talk about a new concept. We are going to talk about a new concept. Well, it's not new. It's actually something you guys have done a million times, and that is addition and subtraction. Addition and subtraction. Now, we are going to have a worksheet that is going to have to do with addition and subtraction. All right, it's going to look something like this. We're going to get this for homework. And it's going to be about really big digits, okay? And about questions, right? Real world problems. But I don't want us to get worried about that, okay? I don't want us to freak out about the fact that we're adding and solving big numbers, because there are things that I know you can do, okay? Miss G's not going to give you anything you can't do. This is also getting us ready for iLearn. We're going to use our knowledge, right? Our place value knowledge. So I guess I should not have undone all that, but that's okay. To help us with addition and subtraction. Place value is an amazing tool to use to help yourself when you're adding big numbers, okay? So let's start off with some random numbers. Let's do something like 9,246 plus, let's say, 1,374. Okay, so when we're looking at these numbers, we might get freaked out, right? We might say, I don't know how to do this. These are really big numbers. Well, Miss G is always going to tell you this. If you're ever worried about adding big numbers and making a mistake, the first thing you can do is the classic addition, right? You write your first number, and you make sure that the digits line up. So the 4 is the last digit and the 6 is the last digit. 7 and 4 should line up. 3 and 2 should line up. And 1 and 9. And you could do it this way. Now, this might lead you into some mistakes, which, might not, but it might, let's say, lead you to some mistakes. If it doesn't, the best way to check your work, though, is to solve, and then we'll do some subtracting. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So let's do it. So I'm going to start always from my ones place. 6 plus 4 is equal to 10. So 10 ends in a 0, right? The number 10 ends in a 0. I would bring the 1 over, right? Because I'm writing the number 10, right? So the 0 goes here. The 1 comes over. Now I'm going to add 7 plus 4. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm using my fingers. Plus this 1 would make 12. And the number 12, right? Ends in a 2. So that goes here. And this one comes over here. So I've got another one here from this 12, right? So 3 plus 2 is 5, plus another one makes 6. Nothing needs to get dragged over because there's nothing in front of 6. 6 is just 6. Now I'm going to do 9 plus 1, and that is equal to 10. Now remember, 1, 2, 3 digits, and I add my comma. Now I don't know if this is 100% correct, and I'm not timed, so I have the time to check my work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my answer, and I'm going to subtract one of these numbers. I'm going to do the smaller one, 1,374. This is to check my work. If I get this correct, this should be my answer. Let's see. So 0 minus 4. Can I do 0 minus 4? Absolutely not. I need to take 1 away from this 2. So that 2 is going to become a 1, and the 0 is going to become a 10. 10 minus 4 is 6. Now I'm left with a 1 because I took 1 away. 1 minus 7. Can I do 1 minus 7? No! So now I'm going to take 1 away from this 6 and make it a 5. And turn this 1 to a 10. I'm sorry, that's a mistake. I wouldn't make it into a 10. What does this number end with? One more time, what number was this? This was a 1. So I'm not going to make it a 10. This turned into a 10 because it ended in a 0, right? This ends in a 1, so what are we going to make it? An 11. Because this is the ending of the number, okay? So this is the ending of my tens. So I had a 0, so this turned into 10. But since this was a 1, it's going to turn into an 11, okay? So 11 minus 7 is 4. 5 minus 3, I can do that. 5 minus 3 is 2. 10 minus 1 is 9. 9,246. Is that here? Yes. So my answer was correct. 10,620. Now, I just did that. And that was great, right? And you can do it that way. Miss G's not going to stop you. However you get the answer works. But if that's a lot, right? You're like, oh man, I think I'm going to make a mistake, Miss G. I don't know if I can do this. Don't stress. Use our lovely friend, Mr. Place Value, to help yourself. So I'm going to show you how to do that, okay? So we've got our ones place. We've got our tens place. We've got our hundreds place. And our thousands place. So, my first number, okay? My first number is 9,246, right? So I'm going to make this into expanded form. I've got 9,200. Remember, in expanded form, you always put the plus signs in between. 4 tens, which is equal to 40, and 6. And remember, if you need to for the place value chart, you don't get a 0, you get a 0 and a 10. You get 2 zeros and a 1. You get 3 zeros and a 1. And you're just 1, right? Okay, so now I'm looking at my number. I'm going to do the same thing for this number. So I've got 1,000. I've got 300. I've got 7 tens and 4 ones. And I'm going to change this to 1,000. I'm writing my number in expanded form. 300. 70 and 4. So now I could add this using expanded form, and that might help me a little bit more. So 6 plus 4 is 10. 6 plus 4 is 10. So I know that I'm going to have to put my 1 here, and I'm going to have to add a 10, right? So 7, I can do this. 0, 0, 0. I'm going to have, okay, Miss G made a huge mistake. I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We are actually not going to use expanded form. And you're going to see why in a second. Miss G needs to have a cup of coffee. It's late at night. We're actually going to just write our number. 1, 3, 7, 4. We're still using place value, but not expanded form. Okay? And I'm going to show you why. This is why. When I had those zeros in there in expanded form, it made it really complicated. But in reality, we can do it just like this without the nonsense zeros, and it's going to be way easier. Now watch this. We've got 6 plus 4 is 10. So my 1 is going to come here. 7, 4, and 1, okay? Because my 10, right? This was 10, so the 1's got to come here. So now I have another 10, 10's place. Hello. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now I've got another 100 here. I'm going to put that there because 12 is written like this, right? Just like we did here. The 2 comes down. The 1 goes over to the next place. 3, 2 is 5 plus another 1 is 6. 9 plus 1 is 10. So I would have to have another place value here. And you see how I just got that answer? And it was a lot less complicated than this one because I had to keep dragging things over. Now, Miss G made a big, fat, huge mistake in between, right? I started explaining to you in expanded form. Look, even teachers make mistakes sometimes, right? I did not mean to do that, and I'm sorry if I led you down a trail, right? We're not going to use expanded form, but we will use our place value chart to help us separate the numbers so we can see it a little bit better and still get the correct answer. You can use the same method for subtraction here as well, okay? So remember, if we break apart the numbers by place value and add the parts, you might be able to solve big questions like this a lot more easily. So remember, to solve big numbers like this easily, we would break apart the numbers by place value and add the parts rather than doing what we just did here. And I would use that, right, to solve subtraction, addition, all kinds of numbers that are a bit bigger and a little bit more intimidating. You guys might be able to do 10 plus 10 in your head. You might be able to do 200 plus 300 in your head because there are lots of zeros. But when you start seeing numbers, 4 or 5 digit numbers, and they have 1s and 2s and 7s and 8s, and you're freaking out, use your place value chart to help you, okay? So don't forget to use place value. Write it out. You can go all the way 10,000s, 100,000s if you think you need to, okay? Now we're going to talk about real world problems. So let's say we have a question like this. Okay. Miss Gomez has 1,250 hot Cheetos. You know I love my hot Cheetos, right? She gives, who's the lucky student going to be? Dennis! She gives Dennis 478 hot Cheetos. Okay. How many does she have left? So when we read a question like this, we know that Miss Gomez is starting out with a total, right? Her total at the beginning is 1,250. And she gives Dennis 478. So think about this as a real world, right? That's why they're called real world problems. Imagine if you had a big pile of hot Cheetos and you give some away to somebody and you want to know how many you have left. Are you going to add? Are you going to multiply? Are you going to divide? No, you're going to subtract, right? You had this many. You took away this many. You gave it away, right? You're giving. So I'm going to subtract. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to know how to use our words. Know what our words mean, okay? You have to know what the words in the question means. Meaning you have to read it out loud, maybe more than once to yourself. Imagine it in a real world scenario, right? If this was me, right? If you have to change the question to you to make it feel more real, like I just did, right? Do that. But make sure you're reading what the question is asking you. We've already had issues with this, hint, when we were doing those multiplication questions, right? And I said you guys are not reading what they're asking you. So let's take a look. We have 1,250 was our total. I'm going to use my place value chart. And we're getting rid of 478. 478. And we want to know how many we have left. Okay? So let's do that. Let's do it together. So we have no ones to take away 8. We have no ones here. So we got to borrow from our friend 5. Sorry, 5. We need one of your 10s. We need one of your 10s. So that 0 just gets a 1 in front of it. Okay, and that's why it turned to 10. Because we took 1 away from the 10. So 10 minus 8 is 2. Okay. Now I'm looking at my tens place. 4 minus 7. Can I do that? No. Sorry. We're going to take 1 away from you. So 2 minus 1 is 1. This ends in a 4, right? So it's going to just get a 1 in front of it. 14 minus 7. I'm going to use my fingers. Start with 14. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, right? I've got 7 left. Can 1 take away 4? No. Sorry, thousands. You're at a 0. And because this has a 1, right? I'm just going to make it 11. Okay, I'm putting 1 in front of it. So then 11 minus 4, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. 772 is the answer that I got. And this is a 0, so I don't even need to put it there. Okay? I'm going to check my work though. So I'm going to do 772. I'm going to use the other method. Some of you might prefer this, and that's okay. Plus 482, right? So this was my total. So I'm going to add my two small numbers together to see if I get it right. 2 plus 2 is 4. 8 plus 7. I'm going to start with 8. I'm going to use my fingers. So my fist is, when I have a fist, I say 8. And then I'm going to add 7 fingers. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15. My 5 comes here. The 1 from 15 comes there. 7, 8, and plus 4. I'm going to start with my fist again. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 12. It goes here. What mistake did I make? What mistake did I make? Talk to your pods and go. Okay, Miss G figured out the mistake that she made. Once again, I need to have a cup of coffee. My number here is wrong. It's wrong. Where did I get 482? I have no clue. But I'm not being a good third grade student, so let's try this again. 478. 8 plus 2 is 0. Well, not 0, it's 10. 1 goes there, the 0 goes here. 7 plus 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15. Oh, my 1's there already, so I'm going to put the 1 there. 7 plus 4 is 11, plus another 1 is 12. I did the work correctly. My answer, 772, is correct. As you guys can see, Miss G is not doing the best here, but I'm trying my best, and I'm fixing my mistakes. Do we see how a simple mistake like that can ruin the whole question? Yeah, pretty crazy. But nonetheless, we are doing this together. Once again, even teachers make mistakes. I refuse to start this video over. It is way too long already. All right, we're going to do one more, and then you are free to be children. Let's take a look at my question. Miss Gomez baked 256 cookies for the bake sale. Who's my next victim gonna be? Who's my next victim gonna be? Let it be Frida. Frida bought, or baked, sorry, 250 more. How many cookies do they have now? So, let's take a look. Once again, we start off with our total. Miss Gomez baked how many cookies? 256. All right. And Frida comes along and baked 250 more. Keyword here, more. How many do they have now? Am I multiplying? When I do 256 by 250, first of all, use those big brains. Have we even done anything like that? No. So I would never ask you to do anything like that. Same with division. Have we ever done anything like that? No. But even there, even if you thought, right, the wording wouldn't make any sense. I'm not saying I'm putting these in groups of 5, right? Or separating them by groups of 10. No, it's saying that Frida baked more. So in real world, right, if I had 256 cookies in front of me and somebody said, here, you can have 250 more. First of all, I'm going to throw a party because yum. But also, they're giving me more. I'm going to add on to my cookies, right? So I'm going to start with my 256 ones cookies. and I'm adding 250 more. Thanks, Frida. So let's do it. 6 plus 0 is 6. 5 plus 5 is 10. My 0 from the number 10, right, is written like this. So my 0 comes down here. My 1 comes over to the hundreds place. 2 plus 2 is 4. Plus 1 is 5. 506. Now let's check our work, and hopefully Miss G is not going to make the same mistake. So we're going to write our answer, 506. So when we're checking, so think about it this way. That was actually kind of a good lesson. When we do subtraction problems, taking away, to check our work, we add. So we do the opposite. Now when we're doing addition problems, once again, we do the opposite. To check our work, we take our answer and we subtract one of these numbers. Let's do 250 just because it ends in a 0, and I feel like that would be easier. So you could pick this one or this number. Doesn't matter. As long as you pick one of the numbers from the questions to check. So 6 minus 0 is 6. 0 minus 5, can't do that. So I need to borrow 1. Sorry, 5, you're turning to a 4. I'm borrowing just 1, and that goes in the front of it. So it's 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 4 minus 2 is 2. 256 matches my first number, so I know my answer is correct. Always check your work, ladies and gentlemen. Always. Okay, and use those big brains to look at the language. Say it out loud to yourself, okay, when you're working on these questions. Best of luck. Take your time reading them, and then we'll go over the answers the next day. Bye.